You've served as mayor, you've served on water commissions, you do so much pro bono work. Can you talk a little bit about why pro bono work is important to you?
You know, I'll tell you, there was one instance where I was talking with an attorney, and it was shortly after I'd received this, and the attorney said, well, I'm not Tom Glasgow. I can't end up affording to do that sort of thing. I can't afford to take on a case that's going to take me 2.5 years to finish. And I said, I looked at the attorney and I said, it can be as simple as taking on that traffic ticket for free for the woman who can't afford it. And that can really change their lives, and you don't realize what kind of impact you can have, not only on the person, but their perception of us as attorneys, of here, you know, I got this one, don't worry about it. I did that for a woman, a simple traffic ticket, years and years ago, and she subsequently, 2 years after that, she was the cleaning lady for my building. She didn't speak English. She walked up to me and she gave me a hug, and she told me how that simple act allowed her to do what she's doing now. You don't understand the domino effect that you sometimes have on people's lives as an attorney.
We really are in the business of promoting transition and change in people's lives, as well as the fact that we're representing clients. I know you were talking to me earlier about the fact that you only keep 2 things in your office hanging on the wall. One of them actually has to do with what you did for a client, and one of them has to do with what you do for the legal commission, the legal world, in terms of your pro bono work. So could you talk a little bit about those 2 things?
I've only kept 2 things in my office. I just don't think that any of the other stuff is relevant. It gives me the perspective of what I do every day. Someone walks into my office and they say, Mr. Glasgow, I'd like to hire you. And they take that leap of faith, and they either accept me as an attorney and I accept them as a client. I now have their absolute trust, and I owe them that trust and duty of loyalty every day that I walk through the court. And they trust us because they don't understand the system. And it's up to us to make sure that they not only navigate the system successfully, but understand what's going on. The Pro Bono Service Award that myself and my firm, it's not just me, the members of my firm all put in time and energy into a case where a woman was being evicted from her home. And it was being evicted for non-payment, and it's because she had some pretty profound mental issues. And for the next 2 years, we worked with this woman in an attempt to get housing for her, an attempt to make sure that she was okay and she was safe and that she was taken care of. And it was between myself, Mr. William Beatty, who's one of my co-authors, and Ms. Stephanie Olson, who's also one of my co-authors on this book. It was one of the most rewarding experiences that all of us had working in the legal field. We put in about 280 hours worth of pro bono work into this case, and it wasn't for a reward, it wasn't for that self-gratification, it was because this lady had no access to the legal services and to the justice system. And by working on this, we left that woman with a much better view of not only the attorneys, because when she approached us, she was very distrustful. She didn't think that we were going to help us. She thought, who are you? You're the lawyers, you're the sharks. And it took a long time to build that trust up, and getting her to the point where she would come and visit us and she would open up and she would talk to us, and finally getting her in the place where she needs to be now was an incredibly rewarding experience. And it's very humbling to know that you've helped another human being that way. You can do that, and it doesn't have to be that huge case. It helps promote the perception of what we are. More attorneys are involved in politics than any other profession. Why? Because we love the community. And it's not for self-aggrandizement. It's for the fact that we enjoy making this a better place. The other thing that I have in my office is a very big letter that a client wrote me. 12 years ago, he called me and he was going to kill himself, and he had just gotten arrested, and he was an alcoholic, and we helped get him out of this. And he comes every year on May 17th to my office, and he drops off his coin to my office, and I went to his wedding, and I went to his promotion, and I have coffee with him on a regular basis, and we play golf together. And I never would have known this man before, but he is a good person. And it's just nice to know that through reaching out to help others, you help not only that one person, but you help society as a whole. He's a wonderful man, and he
Right.
contributes back to society.
Just before we go, young lawyers today, they come out of school, they have a lot of debt. It's very difficult for them to actually, get work consistently. The way firms are hiring is changing. Just for a young lawyer to say, starting off your career in the right way, does pro bono work help in that situation? As you look at your overall career, I know it's meant so much to you. How did you get started in that?
I have to credit that to my dad. My dad was a doctor, and we lived in a very poor section of the United States, and people couldn't pay their bill. And we would wake up with soybeans or, stacks of corn on the front stoop of the house. And he always taught me as a kid, you're blessed by God, give back. Always give back. And that's one of the reasons that I've always done this, and I found that it is just the right thing to do. We have a duty because we're given so much. We have everyone who's graduates law school is brilliant. They're very bright people. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got to the point where they're at. And because of that grace, you give back, and it does end up rewarding you in many ways that monetary value just doesn't apply.
Right.
But practicing pro bono gives you that ability to practice the case, practice your craft, do it the right way, learn from others, and generally you're mentoring with someone else when you're doing the pro bono work. Younger attorneys who have come to me and they do this I just had a young man who ended up doing a full-fledged jury trial over in one of the outlying counties, and ended up winning the case all pro bono, and he came back and he said that was one of the best experiences of my entire life, and he's moved on. He's a very, very good lawyer, and it's good to see a kid like that taking on pro bono work on the front end, because it teaches you what to do and what to not do, and you're providing a wonderful service for the client. Not that you're taking on something that you can't handle, but you're providing a wonderful service for the client within the scope of your abilities.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Tom Glasgow. He is the distinguished recipient of the Pro Bono Award for Service from the Northwestern Suburban Bar Association. He is a distinguished ICLE volunteer as well. Our spotlight is on him as our volunteer, but also for the amazing service that he has given all of the lawyers in the state of Illinois. We're very proud to have you as a part of our faculty, but we're also proud of your story, because I think your story needs to be told. I see so many amazing lawyers that do so much amazing things for people on a daily basis, and you're certainly one of them.
Well, I don't know if I rise to that level, but you see this on a daily basis, and you see people that go the extra mile for their clients, and they do the right thing for their clients, and they do the right thing for society in general. And I don't think lawyers really get the pat on the back that they should, because of the fact that it's easier for people to look at attorneys and say, you didn't produce a product. We do produce a product. We produce a product that gives a wonderful society, and we put people like the gentleman I was talking to you about out of the justice system and back into a productive member of society. That's our goal, not to have repeat clients as criminal practitioners.